Hello guys, welcome to HyperRat's Interchange Looting Guide. Throughout this video, I'll be going over guides as of where to loot, pathways, and overall the best looting method on Interchange. Currently, the method I've developed takes 5 to 8 minutes and can make you up to upwards of 3 to 5 mil each raid. With this current loot guide, you will be able to make upwards of 50 to 100 million in 8 to 12 hours. So, let's get started. I'll be going over multiple kits you guys can run for this interchange route. So first, we want to decide our armor. There's multiple kits that you guys can bring, but I typically want you guys to bring no backpack. The reason why I want you guys to bring no backpack is I want you guys to be as fast as you can and get through as many raids as you can. Now, when doing this, you typically want to bring very large rigs. Rigs I recommend are like the TV-110, as you can see here. You have rigs like the Velocity Systems Multi-Purpose Patrol Vest, as you can see here. And you also have slightly cheaper versions like the A9 Tactical as well. These three rigs are the most recommended rigs I have for Interchange as of right now. If you do run the Velocity Systems Multi-Purpose Patrol Vest, I recommend running something like a Hex Plate if you have enough money, or even a Gazelle K Armor. Now, when you're also running this, I typically bring little to no head protection. The only time I do bring head protection is when I get it from someone in raid. It'll help you slightly increase your ruble count, and it'll also save you a lot of rubles on your future kits. What you typically want to do is buy a Momex, and typically pair it with either some GSSHs, which are the loudest contacts in the game, or some Tactical Sports. These two headphones, alongside the Swordens, which I don't typically like as it's too bassy for me, are the three headphones I would recommend for Interchange, as contacts typically won't play audio for certain footsteps. Next, we'll be going over weapons. So, when choosing a weapon, such as like an MDR, Vector, or even something of that nature, you want to go with the gun that fits you the most comfortable. If you're looking for something a little bit more budget-wise, I'd recommend something like a Vector, as they're extremely cheap to make, around 150 to 200k. Now, you can either use both. You can either use Vector 9mm, or you can use 45 Vector. I typically would recommend a 9mm Vector, as you can load it with 7.931, and you also have access to the 50-round magazines. Now, there's also a slight little thing I've been doing on stream that a lot of you guys have noticed, but I've been using RIP ammo. So as you can see here, if I go back to my kit, I have been using 45 RIP. These bullets have a damage, or flesh damage I should say, of 127. This will kill someone in approximately 3 to 4 bullets. Now, the reason I've been running RIP ammo is it's been extraordinarily cheap, and it's also been saving me a lot on armor. So, since I focus primarily on the legs and arms, I'm typically picking up people's armor, taking it out of raid, and using it for my future raids. Now, as you can see here, this is typically the kit I would be running for Interchange. And I would typically only be grabbing graphics card Tetrises, and maybe small items like helixes, or Nixers, or even CPU fans. But, what you want to do is you want your kit to typically look like this, and you want to boot up some Interchange. Going into skills, if you take a look, I have here max strength and endurance. Now, to have max skills, it's typically around level 51 for every skill. It is actually. Now, if you do not have max strength and endurance, it will be very difficult being the first to either Texo, Tech Light, or even Raz itself. Now, to make up for that effort, what you want to do is you want to use an SJ6 stimulant. What this stimulant does is it increases your stamina, as you can see here, and it also increases your stamina recovery. If you do have max strength and endurance, you can still use this stim, but I typically avoid it as it typically costs around 70 to 80k. Now, another stim you typically want to bring is a prop. What this prop does is it gives you pain, which is painkillers, and it also removes contusions as well. So while you're on this prop, it will give you slight health regen, as you can see right here, and it acts as a painkiller. The loot run typically will last throughout the entire prop. So before you start looting, I typically would prop this stim, and it would typically last the entire run. After that, I would typically take around a Salua. If you do run a TV-110, you can run a Grizzly. It does take up a lot more space, and you can't drop it if you do find a little bit extra more money. But if you do, I would typically run a hemostat with both of these, as a hemostat will always be the fastest in healing heavy bleeds. Okay, after you got your kit, you want to decide on your keys. As you can see here, I'm running 1-1SR, which you don't have to run, and MES. These are the only 2 keys I would recommend running on interchange with this route as of right now. These 2 keys will guarantee you fast extract, just in case you do find someone that's a little bit more kitted than you thought, and MES, so you can look for that extra maybe spare graphics card or Tetris that can spawn in the center of it. Now, these are the only 2 keys I would recommend. If you do want a little bit more extra loot, or if you just want overall gun parts, or if you're looking for something a little bit more special, you can run Kiba, but I wouldn't recommend it as of right now with this run. Other than that, I would go back to these 2 keys, MES and 1-1SR, and these are typically the only 2 keys I would recommend. Alright, first room we have is Texo. As you can see on these back racks, nothing spawns. All on these racks can have graphics cards and Tetris spawns, as you can see here. Next we have these racks, which can spawn on all 3. These racks right here, they can spawn. Racks all around here. Make sure you check in between the corners as well. I've had graphics Tetris cards right there. I've also had stuff still spawns along here as well. On this one, and on this rack as well. A lot of people don't know, but there is a spawn on this washing machine. It can spawn graphics cards and Tetrises. You can also have a spawn close to these speakers, both on the first and second shelf, and this shelf as well. Next, we have Tech Light. Here in Tech Light, I typically like to start from the back here as I run up the escalator. So all along these racks, you have graphics cards and Tetrises spawn. Graphics card and Tetris spawn all along these racks right here. As you can see, there's a graphics card right there. Graphics Tetris on this table. All along these shelves. You have one on this very top left shelf. A lot of people don't know, but a Tetris can spawn on the ground right here. So where I shot right there, you can typically find a Tetris. I've seen a lot of people skip this. All along these racks, both front and back. Make sure you guys jump around here. As you can see, there's like a gas analyzer right there. A lot of people miss items on these racks, so typically you want to jump when going around them. If you stop, you do stand up a little bit higher than usual, so stopping typically works around these shelves. So just make sure you guys jump, take a look around, make sure you don't miss anything, missing no Tetrises, no graphics cards, stuff like that. Then after that, if power is on, I typically like to loot Ultra Medical, sorry. So next, I'll go into Ultra Medical, and I will also look along these shelves, as there can be typically some rare medical stuff. Alright, next. There is a spawn that not a lot of people know about, but there is a tech spawn. If you look very closely, here next to this PlayStation 4, is what it looks like. So if we check next to the controller and in between the PS4, there's a graphics card and Tetris spawn right here. I found a few graphics cards on my runs, so make sure to check that. There's also bearded oil spawns all along here. So if you still need your Kappa and you're looking for bearded oil, I recommend looting these shelves right here. Next, we have Rasmussen. Here in Raz, you have these 2 tables and spawn items. These shelves right here, as you can see, here is a graphics card. Ooh, and a Tetris, as you can see. And then, not a lot of people know, but inside this little box can spawn items as well. So make sure you jump on top of the table and look directly inside the box. As I found multiple Tetrises hiding inside this. I've seen a lot of people miss items in here. As you can see, it can phase right through. It has no collisions. As you can see, it's very hard to spot. And if somebody was quick looting this, they would not be able to see the Tetris. So make sure you check this spot. Next, you have this table. These racks all along here, like this PSU right here. have all of this, and the back of this table. Not a lot of people know about this as well, but there is a graphics card Tetris spawner here as well, where this Nixer is. Alright, next. Next, we have German. What spawns in German are both graphics cards and Tetrises. It's not as common as the other stores, such as Texto and Raz, but you can find stuff spawning all along these racks, inside this little container here. So make sure you check that. Graphics and Tetris spawn where this relay is, and all along this shelf as well. Alright. Next, we have MES, or known as Emercom Medical Units. So when you open this door, you guys want to go to the center of MES. Right through here. And on this back rack right here. So, graphics cards and Tetrises can spawn all along here. Make sure you check the ground, as graphics cards and Tetrises can spawn down here as well. They can spawn on these racks as well, and in this white shelf. Mainly right here. So make sure you check this. Next, you want to make your way to TTS. Here in TTS, graphics and Tetris spawns are all along these tables and these racks. As you can see, there's a CPU fan. Back here, there's a Bitcoin rare spawn. So make sure you check the center of this white box right here, as Bitcoins can typically spawn there. There's also a Lytix spawn on this table, if you guys didn't know. It's very rare, but it can happen every now and then. Last but not least, we have the Idea sort of tech light loot area. So once you go through these double doors here, you can find graphics cards and Tetrises all along these shelves here. You can also find graphics and Tetris underneath this keyboard where the numpad is. So make sure you guys check that spot. After that, if you come back here on top of this little wooden box, there is a tech spawn, as you can see where there's capacitors. There's also one down here, but I've yet to find a graphics or Tetris on the ground yet. There has been people telling me that they have found a graphics or Tetris there. Next, if you come back here, there's a spawn here. There's a spawn right there where that GM counter is. There's another spawn right here. Spawn where the relay is. And where the UV lamp is, right here. Nothing I found typically spawns back here, so I typically skip this. Then if you come over here, we're going to go over now the lion spawns. So, the lion spawns start with this rack right here. It spawn in the center right there, or on the left side right here on this rack. And if you come right over here, it's a lion spawn over here on this rack. There's a lion spawn right here. There's a lion spawn over here, where that rack is. There's a lion spawn back here, over on this rack, typically on the open rack. And last but not least, back here where the bed is, on this rack. There's also a Vaseline spawn right on this bed right here. So make sure you guys check these spawns. I do want to make this video short and sweet, so if you do spawn anywhere in the front of mall, such as behind this blue fence, this giant blue fencing here, or you do spawn towards Idea side, underneath the railroad tracks, or if you spawn right next to Idea, or even the back towards Power, or even the highway towards Oli. Depending on where you spawn, you want to go into the entrance closest to where you are. So if you do spawn Idea side, you do want to take the front entrance of Idea and do the usual Idea route. If you spawn in front of Ultra, what you want to do is you want to run through the front of Ultra straight towards Tech Light. Or Texo, sorry. So you want to run straight up these escalators, take a direct right all the way back towards Texo. If you do spawn far Ollie side, you do just want to run straight into the front of Ollie and do the normal Ollie route like I showed before. Next, I'll be going over the Ollie side spawn route. So, once you come up these escalators, or come from the back of Ollie, or even come up these escalators, what you want to do is you want to immediately rush Texo. You want to come in here and just quickly loot everything. You want to quickly check check for graphics card Tetrises. Check, check, check. Looks like there's nothing. Come over here, you see a Tetris right there. Check this, and then you want to immediately run up the escalators. When you run up these escalators, you typically want to jump in the middle so you can AD, just in case people do spawn behind you. So you can run a lot more distance instead of being hard locked, as you can see here. So you typically want to jump in between these two escalators and slowly strafe up. When you do come up, what you want to immediately do is look to your right. You want to see if the people that spawn either mid of interchange or towards idea side are running at you. So once you quickly look up, as you can see here, if you want, you can quickly do this. But you want to immediately rush to left side of tech light. So you want to quickly check the back rack here, nothing. Check up here, graphics card, like that. You want to look back here, nothing. Got a CPU fan, you could pick that up, it's around like 30k. Look around, look around, look around. Nothing looking good. Quickly do some jumps so you aren't missing anything. Looks like we're not missing anything. Quickly check the spot on the floor here, nothing here. And then if power is on, you can do ultra medical. If not, I would skip it. You want to immediately run down. Straight down here. And you want to go straight to res. Now, with the time taken, you're probably going to have somebody already in res. If not, you're very lucky. So you want to immediately rush in. Quickly check everything. Oh, graphics card. Quickly keep checking, 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 checking. Checking here. Oh, look at that. Tetris. I'm going to keep running around. Check, 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 check. Check the back of the table here. Next to the chair. Only a mixer. And then next, you want to go back out towards textile and go straight into furniture store right here. So you want to check the PS4 spawn. As you can check, there's nothing here. So what we're going to do next is there's two ways we can do this. You can either go through the back of Goshen and take the route where you guys seen in the idea side, or you can go straight down these escalators. I typically recommend down the escalators as people won't generally be down here. You won't typically find as much people. So what you want to do is you want to run through this hole, go on the left side, and follow this red tube all the way down. Once you follow this tube down to the red forklift here, what you want to do is take a left towards this white van. There's some food that can spawn in this box here and other stuff, so make sure you check that little box just in case you're feeling a little hungry. Then here you should see the no backpack extract right over there. So after that, you just want to run straight to it. And you're pretty much set for extract. And there you go, another 5 to 6 minutes in raid, and you're already going for your next. In this segment, I'll be going over the idea side route. You can either spawn here, which is power side, or you could spawn in the front of idea, here over here, and come into this side. So, when you come in, you typically want to speed loot this, so you jump over this rack right here, check the numpad, loot all of this, quickly check the box, come back over here, quick loot everything, quick check, looking around, nothing. And then you want to head straight to TTS. So I'll see you guys in TTS. Okay, here in TTS, you can typically jump on this box onto the secondary. And if you look down and crouch, you can typically fit through this. So you want to quickly check these two spots. Quickly check the LEDX that spawns behind you. It looks like there's nothing. So go back here. Check for graphics cards and Tetrises all along these shelves. Looks like there's nothing. Come back here. Open MES. Come back here. Quickly check for the graphics cards and Tetrises. Which it doesn't look like there's any. So we're going to quickly now head to German. So we'll be looking for any more graphics cards or Tetrises, which it doesn't look like there's any again. So now that we completed the idea side route, we'll be jumping over the sandbag straight towards the back of Goshen. So your now objective is to take no backpack extract. So I'll see you guys then. Once you're in the back of Goshen, what you want to do for the extraction is you want to go over to these light blue and green crates, as you can see right here. What you want to do is take a look at these wooden pallets right here. You want to jump into the first one, jump onto the spoil, and jump left onto the crates. What you want to do next is jump onto the... So you want to jump onto these wooden pallets, onto the spoil, onto the light blue crate, onto the fence, onto the little cleaver here, and next you want to jump onto the red crate, as you can see right here. Next, you want to go back here to the extract. So crouch right here, and here you are extracting. And you are off.
Now, to sort of summarize the video, what I want you guys to do is I want you to play an offline raid. I want you guys to try and practice this run a few times before you guys actually do it in public runs. You can go straight into public if you want, but I would recommend doing this a few times in offline, as this run can get quite confusing and you can be quite risky with it. That's another thing I wanted to talk about as well, is risk. So when you guys are doing this run, I want you to stick strictly to the run. If you break any sort of the run's circumstances, so let's say you skip Raz, or if you do this, you can skip tech stores 100% if you do want to play it safe, but I don't recommend going for PvP. I don't recommend going for Killa. I don't recommend any sort of these things. I want you to stick strictly to the run and getting out as fast as you can. This is how you'll stay most efficient and how you make the most money fast. So, again, like I said, I want you guys to practice this in offline. I want you to stick strictly to the run, and if you have to, extract immediately. Alright, I hope this guide can help you guys, and I hope it can make you lots of money. Now, you gotta remember that it's not 100% of the time you're gonna make over 50 million in 8 hours, so make sure you guys take your time, you guys stay cool, and you don't stress out. Because there will be days where you won't make as much money as the other day, but it'll still help you and it'll still get you as much money as possible. Alright, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this guide helped you. I wanted to try to make it short and sweet. I know it's still around 20 minutes, but if you guys like the video, make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe. If you guys don't, make sure you can, type in comments, let me know what I could do better. I will definitely work better on the next guide. I will probably be redoing my reserve guide as well in the future. So make sure you guys keep your head out for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video, which is tomorrow. Hog.